Welcome, everybody. Dan Harley here. Another episode of Tech Talk with Dan Harley. It is June 1st, 2026. Sorry about that. This is the second time I'm doing this recording here. First time I forgot to turn the mic on, so I muted the mic. So anyway, I'm going to do a different format again. Actually, going back to the old format where I just kind of talk. Okay. I got some responses back from recent. I've been away from doing this for a while, so literally about a couple years. I used to do this all the time. It's much more relaxed about it. But recently, I started back up there. I've been pretty rigid. You know, I put together an outline, kind of following this outline and stuff like that, and it is not natural, and it's pretty obvious. So anyway, I'm going back to this open format and just kind of talk and speak of what's on my mind right now. And what's on my mind here is actually an issue. The topic is the title going to be something. It's not my fault. It's actually my fault for something that just happened to a client of mine here, and you'll understand at the end here. So anyway, what's going on here? I have a new friend of mine, actually my plumber too, and had an issue at the house here, which he's going to come over and go fix. And actually, have his crew out, and at the same time, when we're kind of trading. Okay, not really trading, but I need his help. He needs my help. So there's that. I've been working on him for about a month or so about his internet marketing stuff, and he's quite successful in his own right here. Very tech savvy. He has an amazing response system for him and his crew. I mean, the first time I met him, I was literally on the phone with him. And one of his crew texted me, says he's on the way, and I'm still on the phone with him. So, by the way, I'm not gonna mention his company because we're gonna bring up some issues of his business, and we don't want to cause an issue with that. Okay. Also, the services he's been working with, we're gonna keep that anonymous as well. But you'll get the drift of this. So anyway, he's very tech savvy, and we started talking about, I do what's called a Snapshot Report, which I'll cover a little bit later here, and which covered, and then he looked it over and he started getting me more open about his internet marketing. Apparently, he's spending almost $10,000, some $3,500 for brand Y service, and about as much for a different service, which is significant for the size of the business. I mean, if it's working, it's working. But I question why. For one thing, I know this brand Y actually was going to be a rep for them, and I was training with them for about a month and a half. So I intimately know this company. And so he went through what he thought he was getting, and he claimed that they said he was paying about $35 per lead. And I says, is there any proof behind all that? Any analytics, any reports you're getting? He says, no, they're just telling him that. And I said, based on my knowledge of that company, well, I'd say lying is a strong word, but I don't think they're telling you the truth. They're telling you everything, obviously. So there's an issue there. And at $3,500, that's a lot. And then I told him, too, based on the Snapshot report I was telling you about, I should just get into that right now. This is a report I provide for any of my clients or prospects. It's free of charge and a no obligation either. And what this is it covers about 9 areas of internet marketing, of how your business is perceived online. Okay, from your search engines to your social media, to SEO, as well as going to your website and all that stuff. So it really surfaces several issues. Really comes down to it benefits myself as well as my clients. Really, what's wrong? Okay, and from all aspects. That way, there we can focus on the needs to be fixed. Okay, rather than just simply saying you need a new website or need to do social media or other things. Or this kind of covers everything, and so we can assess all the issues that are going on. Now, stuff that works too, okay? And then determine what we need to go fix first, okay? So anyway, one thing came up here is on the business listing, Google, Yahoo, Yelp, so on and so forth. The Google listing was kind of weird, wonky, and based on my experience, I'm thinking there's something wrong with this listing. Okay, he says, well, this other company's working it, and they're claiming to gain X amount of searches on that. He's supposed to be number one here and there. It says, well, you're not number one. You're close, but something's wrong with your listing, and that's the reason why you're not getting the top billing. Okay, you should be, but you're not. He says, so are you able to access your Google profile listing? He says, no. Oh, really? Okay, so apparently he transferred ownership of this to ownership of this Google listing to this provider. And says that's not good. So and so that's another issue he ran into. And although the same company here was building the website for them, and he discovered too. Fortunately, I checked something else here too. Is your domain registration? Fortunately, he owns the domain, but unfortunately, the website that's built on top of the domain is not owned by him. And let me add something to Company B. For him to talk to them, he had to set up an appointment, schedule an appointment, a 1 hour appointment, 2-3 days ahead before he can talk to them. And so he wasn't able to get a whole lot of information out of them in that 1 hour. Well, they did tell him that he didn't own the domain, didn't own the website. And if he were to move on to a different company, they would take the website away from him. So he's a little shocked about that. And unfortunately, this is a common practice in the industry I'm in here. And a lot of it's due to lack of information. Okay, a lot of these companies, they prey on ignorance, and it's sad that the way it is. And it makes it tougher for companies like me. And let's go back to why it's my fault. Okay, I wish had I known on this, I would have got at him earlier, and averted all this. He could spend much less than $10,000 a month on what he was doing here, or at least go in the right direction. Right now, he has no idea why he's paying $3,500 to Company Y. They claiming they're making in the phone ring. Another company saying they're claiming he is number one listing on whatever. They couldn't tell him where he was listing number one at. I was able to pull that stuff pull my information up, and determine where he was not listing as number one. And then on top of that, we went further trying to figure out that his Google is messed up, and he found out that he doesn't own it. And it's a bunch of other messes and other things to so get on and on and on. Now, let me back up here too. All this is all fixable, okay? My problem with myself here is had I got in earlier, we would not have to fix these problems first and then go on to something else. So I'm hoping you folks out there listen to that to come to the reality about this stuff here. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit upset just thinking about this stuff here. So I mentioned to him that let's do a few things at a time. Let's go after it. We need to agree to submit to go get his Google listing back. And Company Y here, if you don't know why you're paying, they tell you why they're not paying. They're paying $3,500, and get more details of how these listings come to you. Why are you paying it? Okay. I'll tell up front, I can spend a fraction of that on stuff you really need to fix. So we were thinking about that too. It might be a couple weeks, a month, whatever, before he comes around to it, but it is what it is. So anyway, moral of the story here is, unfortunately, a couple of things here. My peers out there, my colleagues out there, a number of them are lying is a strong term, probably not telling the entire truth or giving all the entire facts, and preying on their clients that they don't know as much as I hope they do, and to keep them that at that level there where they're lacking knowledge. That company, the Company Y, Company 2, they are the gatekeepers of information. So they only give you as much as they want to give you to make you think what you want to think, so that you can continue paying a lot of money to them. So I'm opposite. I'd rather you know everything and anything that you should know. In fact, sometimes, quite often, I got clients says, just here's some money, go fix it. And it says, I can't. We need to talk this stuff out before we do that. Otherwise, I'm going to be just like the other people you did before. Throw a lot of money out, nothing happens, and I'm going to be the next one out the door. I'd rather have these long-term relationships where we start fixing things and start getting things progressively going better, and we're making money, on solid foundations here. So, and yeah, unfortunately, that happens a lot. Okay, here's something else I want to make sure everybody knows. All of this is fixable. It is all fixable. Okay. Unfortunately, we got to start the starting line with me, with my client, my friend here, is starting with fixing stuff. Okay, rather than starting with let's go advertise this way, get some more clients this way, that way. We even talked about he wants to expand out to outside the area, because there's a lot of potential. We're in Southern California here. There's a lot of companies in his field in other areas that are closing down. So there's huge gaps of services that he could potentially fill from where we're at. So there's a real possibility of doubling, tripling his revenue. Okay, but we have to go back and fix stuff first. So there's with that. So anyway, that is I think that'll be it for now. I hope you learned from the lesson here. If you have an issue similar like this, okay, give me a call. Okay, I'm gonna somewhere around here on this website, YouTube, whatever, is going to be some contact information. But frankly, just call us 760-247-4814, and you don't have to go through the system, whatever. But we'll get back to you some way. Okay, we'll set you up with Snapshot Report plus other free stuff to get you going in the right direction. And in fact, a lot of the stuff we provide initially is for free. Initial consultation is free. Snapshot Reports free. Some other stuff is free too. Okay. And then, like I said, we're here to solve problems, get you going in the right direction, and then make you some money. That's the name of the game. That's what we try to do. Almost 30 years doing this. So, all right. Okay. That's about it. Have a great day. We'll talk later.